Yes, how is everyone doing? We are going to look at something beautiful today. Are you new to Forex? Are you new to trading? Well, if you are new, we are going to look at something beautiful today. We are going to study how to identify support and resistance areas. Alright, so this is going to be our topic for today. So you're welcome to this YouTube channel, and we are going to be having a number of content on this channel, so feel free to tune in, subscribe, and also turn on your notification bell. Alright, so how do you how do you identify support and resistance areas? So let us come and we look at this chart here that you are seeing. We are going to look at, let us try to look at the weekly time frame. We are looking at this currency pair GBP USD. Now before we come and we look at this chart here, I just wanted to show you something briefly. The best way you can identify support and resistance levels, number one, it is through line charts. Line charts. What do I mean through line chart? If you are to convert this chart into a line chart like this, all right, this is how we are going to identify good support and resistance levels. We identify support levels when we mark this area, or when we mark this point like this. We can always term this as a support level, and then we can always mark this as a resistance level. We can always mark this as a resistance level. Okay, so this is a resistance level. All right, now in a line chart, what I want you to understand is that in a line chart, when we are marking these levels here, we are marking what we call candle closures. All right, these are known as candle closures. So the line chart doesn't give us the wicks. All right, line chart never gives us these wicks or these shadows or what we call tails. All right, so the line chart only gives us the candle opens and the candle closes. All right, only the candle closures and the candle opens. With time, I'll show you how you can interpret actually how with time I'll show you how the basic structure of a candlestick. But for today, we are learning how to identify these support and resistance levels. So you have known that before, that support and resistance levels, you mark them, something like that. You mark them like this, but I'm going to show you an easy way on how to mark them when we are using these line charts, or what we call this kind of labeling. All right, so we are going to mark our support and resistance levels using that same concept. So on this chart here, if you are to look at GBP USD in this weekly time frame, this will be our support level. All right, let me try to cut this in time. Let's try to go back in time. So this will be our support level. This will also be our support level. All right, so when we are to play it back, you can see how the market moves slowly by slowly. You can see the price come and then it rejects on these areas, and then it begins to buy. All right, so these levels here, are very powerful. They are a bit different from your normal support and resistance. All right, so this is how you can mark your support and resistance level as a trader. So this is also a resistance here. You can see that when price came and reached this area here, it faced a rejection. All right, so this is in the weekly time frame. Let us try to maybe use a daily time frame, right? Okay, all right, let us assume that the market was somewhere like here. All right, and then we mark this as a weekly resistance. All right, so what we can do, we can go to any time frame lower. You can use maybe 18 hours, you can use 12 hours, all right, to mark, to go into any time frame that you are using. All right, now for me, my trading view is a paid one, so I can use any time frame that I want. All right, but for the purposes of learning, if you're coming from the weekly, you can maybe use daily. Let us try daily, and then we see. So in the daily time frame, you can see that price first came and tapped this daily support that was here. All right, so when you are to use this kind of ideology, you will always catch these sniper entries. So we shall use this one here as our support level. You have to make sure that when you are to convert it in the line chart, it gives you this bend. All right, it gives you this bend, and you have to make sure that price has broken out of a certain kind of like a range. All right, so this is for you advanced traders. You have to make sure that price has broken out of some sort of like a range. All right, so this was some sort of like a range because price came, tapped here, and then it was price took some days inside here. All right, so this was the support level that hadn't yet been tested. All right, so we can play and then we can see how price came and reacted. Okay, so you can see that that was your support level, and when you are using these support and resistance levels, don't always target like bigger risk to reward. All right, if you are to enter from this kind of like support level, you can always target a nearest resistance level which is there. Remember, the resistance level has to give you something like this, so you mark this area here as your resistance level. So when you have to place it back in the chart, you can see that this was your resistance level. All right, so love you guys. This will be enough probably for today. In our next video, I'll be sharing with you something different that will help you out in your trading. So those of you that are swing traders, this is where you could have taken your entry. All right, though this would have been a big stop loss. All right, this would have been a big stop loss. Maybe you could have risked like 60 or 50 pips, and then you are targeting maybe something like 200 pips. You have to make sure that at least your target is a 1 2, at least it is a 1 to 3. You are risking $1 to make $3. So that means that if your stop loss is 50 pips, that means you are at least targeting 50 times 3. At least you are targeting a 1 to 3. So this is just a general technique that you can use, but if you know what you are doing, you can refine into the lower time frames like 4 hour, like H1, and then you can be able to get a precise entry where you're going to risk at least very few, where your risk is going to be at least smaller than this, maybe 20 pips, 15 pips maximum. Yeah, all right, that's all for today. ZOEFX here, giving life to your trading. Love you so much. God bless.